Column writing NSPC aligned criteria. Column title: Ghosts in the Floodway, when billions meant to save lives turned into bills to fill pockets. They warned us. Heavy rain, swelling rivers, overflowing communities. Yet when the deluge came, it wasn't just the skies that broke, it was our trust. In the heart of central Luzon and Metro Manila, communities found themselves underwater, not only from rain, but from the weight of unfulfilled promises. On one level, the story is simple. Funds were allocated, projects were launched, but the infrastructure failed. On another, far more insidious level, when the trenches meant to protect us become the trenches dug for private gain, the disaster isn't only natural, it's man-made. The latest revelations surrounding flood control works expose what many Filipinos have quietly suspected, that in a country battered year after year by typhoons and monsoons, the real calamity may not be the weather, but the apathy of those entrusted to build defenses. According to independent audit findings, billions of pesos meant for flood control may have been siphoned into ghost projects and substandard construction. The stakes are high. When a riverbank barrier gives way or a channel isn't dredged, the victims are not the contractors. They are the poor, the informal settler communities, the dozens of barangays with homes flattened overnight. Their voices seldom reach the halls of Congress, but their losses stack like sandbags against a river that won't stop rising. On the face of it, the government has shown it cares. Commissions have been formed, investigations launched, audits promised. But talk without consequence breeds cynicism. When reports show that 20% of contractors bagged 80% of the works, that identical project designs are labeled across different locations, or that a structure visibly collapsed before completion, the impression is not "we'll fix it," but the fix is part of the problem. And yet, the matter goes deeper than corruption. It touches on our collective moral contract, the belief that public funds are dedicated to the public good. When this contract is broken, it is not just a technical failure. It is an ethical one. The columnist doesn't shy away from this. What happened in these flood control contracts is a betrayal of Philippine society's most vulnerable. Here are the angles worth our attention. Accountability. Are those responsible going to prison or merely reassigned? When substandard work leads to collapsed flood walls, where is the sanction? Transparency and monitoring. Location coordinates missing, designs replicated. Construction allegedly lacking reinforcement. How does the public verify progress when the data is opaque? Prioritization of public safety over patronage. Heavy rains aren't new. What's new is the scale of funds and the opacity of use. If climate change means storms will worsen, why are funds being diverted from the very defenses meant to shield us? Public trust and democracy. Mass protests have erupted. Citizens no longer simply complain, they walk out, they demand. When the state fails to protect the civic contract phrase, moral and human cost, this isn't about headlines of billions lost. It is about parents burying children after floods that might have been avoided. Entire barangays still rebuilding years later. Money isn't abstract when the next typhoon hits. In the end, if we're going to build a society resilient to disaster, we must build one resilient to corruption. Infrastructure failures due to typhoons are understandable. Infrastructure failures due to ghost contracts are unforgivable. If the flow of water can be turned away by steel, concrete, and earth, why then can the flow of public funds not be turned toward truth, accountability, and life? It's not just about preventing floods. It's about preserving faith in the social contract.